In short, most of you have the mind of a goat.
Pardon me, sir. Is it not common practice for those about to be executed to be granted a last, I don't know, something or other?
I believe I was making a point. If you could just be patient.
There's another news. Did you think you could defeat us, boy?
No, sir. I'm just a diversion.
From my personal experience, I rarely find characters irritating. Characters in shows can range from great to awful, but they're rarely obnoxious. To be honest, there have been a few characters that have lived rent-free in my mind. Nina Einstein from Code Geass, for example, made me feel a level of hatred that I did not think was possible towards a fictional character. Looking past the fact that she evokes negative emotions in me, Nina presents a long-standing problem that I will attempt to examine in this essay. I want to learn how to try to understand the factors that differentiate good, annoying characters from those that are simply bad. I slightly disagree with the statement that people's opinions on what is annoying is completely subjective. Yes, some people might find a character's tone or demeanor irritating, while others might be annoyed by the dialogue they deliver. Some viewers might not be irritated as easily as others. If I decide to watch a generic fantasy isekai anime right after I finished watching Odd Taxi, the difference in the quality of dialogue alone will send me over the edge. But you can objectively justify why some characters that are annoying are actually well written. The same way you can justify why a character is good or bad objectively. In storytelling, it is essential for characters to feel convincing and nuanced to the audience. This often involves them exhibiting negative qualities, such as complaining, making a lot of bad decisions, and even being hypocritical. These traits can add tension to the story and make the characters more human and grounded. Flawed characters, including those that may be considered annoying, can be necessary in a story because they make it more relatable and believable. Real people are not perfect, and the same is true for those in a story as well. Imperfections give depth and complexity and make everything more interesting to watch. Without flaws, characters can become flat and one-dimensional, which can make the story less engaging. These imperfections also provide opportunities for character growth and development throughout the story. Let's look at some examples. Ron Weasley from the Harry Potter series is a good character who is also messy, irresponsible, and really prone to making poor decisions. Despite some of these traits becoming annoying, he's a loyal and brave friend to Harry and is willing to put himself in danger to protect the ones he cares about. Similarly, young Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan is a good character who is also stubborn, hot-headed, and feels redundant a lot of the time. Well, despite being kind of annoying and useless initially, he is a brave and determined fighter who is willing to do anything to protect his loved ones. Poorly written characters are characters that lack depth, authenticity, or believability due to poor writing or characterization. They may be one-dimensional, unrealistic, or inconsistent, and they may not feel like fully fleshed out individuals. Characters like Kirito from SAO and Orihime from Bleach are very good examples of this. Kirito does not possess fundamentally annoying traits, right? He's not overly whiny or conceited. However, he is overpowered, which is one of the factors that ruins the tension in the show. Similarly, Orihime is poorly written because she is overly passive and is mostly used as a plot device. Annoying characters, on the other hand, may be well written and believable, but they may still be irritating due to their personality or actions. Annoying characters can be a result of poor writing, but they can also be a result of the writer intentionally creating a character with traits and mannerisms that are meant to be irritating and bothersome. The distinction between poorly written characters and annoying characters depends on the specific qualities of the character in question and how they are perceived by the viewer. There can be many annoying traits, and I mean a lot of them, but it is important to note that most of them are considered annoying only when taken to an extreme degree. Naoka Ueno, from A Silent Voice, is a good case study for a well-constructed character who has an annoying screen presence. What makes Ueno unlikable is a combination of her core personalities and behavior towards certain characters in the show. Her adolescent self is overly confrontational and insensitive, which manifests itself as physical violence towards Shoko Nishimiya. The first reason Ueno is so dislikable is because of how Shoko's character is set up. Shoko is not only deaf, but also very soft-natured, harboring zero malice throughout the entire movie. As a viewer, it is easy to empathize with her pain and feel compassionate towards her journey to fit in. Watching Ueno be violent and unnecessarily cruel towards Shoko is like watching a person hurt a defenseless animal. It feels unnecessary and heartless. The second reason Ueno can be annoying is her seeming lack of character development and maturity between her child and adolescent self. Ueno's attitude is a direct reminder of the darker parts of the movie, and is made apparent compared to Ishida's immense character growth. So, can we conclude that Ueno is fundamentally a bad character, existing only to create a false and unnecessary sense of conflict in the story and to annoy the audience? I argue that she is the second most important character in the story, behind our protagonist Ishida. Her lack of character growth, as I referred to, highlights how much Ishida has matured and changed in comparison. Throughout the film, we follow Ishida's redemptive journey. The conclusion to his story is more important than anything else in the film. Therefore, not only is Ueno a reminder of what Ishida used to be, but she is also a reminder of what Ishida should not be. Ueno reintroduces the unresolved problems from their childhood. Only once these problems are resolved can the journey of Ishida and Shoko conclude. She tries, unsuccessfully, to mend Ishida's relationships with his former friends. She also attempts to push Shoko away from him and his current friends, both literally and metaphorically, which introduces a lot of tension and drama. Her actions are justified by her motivations. In her own twisted way, she believes that Shoko is the source of Ishida's past and present problems, and her actions are an attempt to help him through those problems. She is not only a fantastic character foil for Ishida, but she is also complicated. We can approach Gabi Braun from Attack on Titan in a similar fashion to Ueno. One of the primary factors that initially make Gabi unbearable is her character traits taken to an extreme level. She is extremely arrogant, vengeful, hot-headed, and she's unwilling to abandon her ideology and beliefs for most of her arc. Additionally, Gabi is responsible for the death of Sasha, a beloved and well-known character in the series. It is understandable that the audience would be angry and upset with her for her actions and her negative perspective on the inhabitants of Paradise. However, as with Ueno, it is important to consider that Gabi is a fully realized character who serves an important purpose in the story and helps to illustrate the themes of the series. We acknowledge that she is annoying, but do her beliefs and actions make sense? They absolutely do. Gabi's view of Paradise is extreme because she has been conditioned to hate the rest of the world and sees her people as the chosen ones, destined to reclaim their former glory. She has been essentially brainwashed into accepting the Marleyan narrative. Through her character, the series explores the impacts of war on individuals and communities and the ways in which it can shape and transform people. She affects the flow of the narrative by impacting the main cast of characters. Her justification for shooting Eren or killing Sasha makes perfect sense from her perspective. Gabi's beliefs and worldview are challenged when she's exposed to the truth about the atrocities committed by her own people. This new experience contradicts her old ones, and she's forced to change. She begins to see the value of compassion and starts to understand the importance of forgiveness. Not only is her redemption arc absolutely fantastic, she's also a means for the author to explore the various dualities, themes, and ideas of the world of AOT. Annoying characters can be a sign of good writing and complexity. These characters may have flaws or make unpopular choices, but this does not make them poorly written. In fact, annoying characteristics can be used to make a character more relatable and realistic. These traits can also serve to create conflict and tension within a story, which can make the plot more interesting. Ultimately, a character's annoyance factor should not be the sole determinant of their merit. Rather, a character's depth, development, and impact on the story should be taken into consideration when evaluating their quality.